Hello.
Hi.
It has been a couple weeks since our last update, and there's not really an excuse more than it's just been great weather, so we wanted to take advantage of it and spend as many days on the beach as we could. We are ready to do our final wrap-up for our trip because we are now in Lisbon, and this is our last stop. How we got here, if you could kind of use one word to describe our trip so far, it'd be kind of uncertainty. I mean, every 3 days we basically get dropped into a new city. What are you doing?
I'm trying not to interrupt you. You get mad at me when I interrupt you. And pause for a second.
I'm waiting for you to interrupt
pause
me.
for a second. Remember when we cut this?
All right, so about every 3 days we've been dropped into a brand new city or anything like that.
Yeah.
Interrupt me. We just talked about it. Interrupt me and say it. Forget the whole language thing.
Okay.
So about every 3 days we get dropped into a new city without knowing which way is even north, let alone how we're going to find where we're going, or who we're staying with, or what the place looks like, or if they're going to have hot water, just anything. We don't know anything every time we get to a new city. It was no different getting here from Vasto, and it all started with our bus to Rome. So we go to the bus station and find a bus driver.
It's a bus parking lot.
What would you call it?
Bus parking lot. Bus station, I think that there's like a building there. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's nowhere to talk to. But we find a bus driver that works for the same company as the bus line that we think goes to Rome. And we start asking him a couple questions in very broken Italian with our little translator app on the iPod. And we're leaving on Sunday, but unfortunately the translator doesn't have Sunday as a translation for some reason. It has every other phrase and word, but the word Sunday is not in its vocabulary. So all I have to work with is my very broken Spanish, which 90% of the time at least has words that sound similar enough that you can get by. For example, like in Spanish, you say como se dice, in Italian you say como se dice or something like that. It's very close. So if you say it conversationally, you can kind of get by. But it turns out that would be a very big mistake. Here's why. In Spanish, Sunday is domingo. So I was saying words like domingo, maybe he would think or hear just something that sounded like their word in Sunday, and hopefully it sounded the same. It turned out that he did understand domingo and was very happy to tell us that on Sunday there were buses running at 9 a.m. and I confirmed domingo, and he said, yes, domani. And I was like, okay, so domani is Sunday. It sounds like domingo. So when I said domingo and he said domani, we kind of assumed that he knew we were talking about we needed to leave Sunday at 9:30 a.m. It turns out that was a mistake. The actual Italian word for Sunday is domenica. So for whatever reason, he kept saying, yes, domani, 9:30, domani, 9:30. So we leave and come back Sunday morning at 9:30 expecting to see a bus that never shows up. He thought we were talking about tomorrow, which would have been Saturday.
Which is domani.
Domani. So you get the gist. Uncertainty plays a key role, and you just gotta learn to roll with the punches. And after 2.5 months, we figured things out. We got on with a different bus company that was leaving at 10:45. So it all worked out. We eventually got on a bus to Rome and met our new host there. Then, to get from Rome to Madrid, we chose to fly. So we have to figure out how to get there at 6 a.m. for an early flight. Unfortunately, the shuttle buses don't start running until 4:30 a.m. So we have to decide, is getting there at 5:15-ish in the morning early enough for a 6:30 a.m. flight? We roll the dice and we get lucky. We get there early enough, and we get there in time to check in and check our visas, which led to another uncertainty. We had never flown a budget airline before, so we didn't know if our backpacks were going to meet the requirements for the carry-on size, which has to be less than 22 pounds and less than a certain centimeter of inches. We're glad we chose the smaller packs. They fit perfectly in the carry-on size thingy. So we get to Madrid. Unfortunately, we don't know if there's any seats on our train because, for whatever reason, Renfes, or however you pronounce the train company in Spain's website, does not work very well. You can't book, you can't call. You basically have to book once you're in Spain. So we just go to Spain hoping we can get on that night's train to get to Lisbon so we can check into our apartment here. The long and short of it, after 2.5 months, everything always works out. If not, there's a suitable alternative that'll get you there just in time. And we got here just fine. But just to kind of give you an example of how uncertain things are day to day. So we've been here for a week and a half and things have been going great.
in between our Vasto and Madrid, we had 2 days to spend in Rome. We did have one mishap while we were there though, and that is that Mike has a habit of playing with his wedding ring. Well, this time he dropped it on train tracks, and the security guards came and were able to fish it off the tracks. We only wish we had the camera with us, but we did not.
You don't care about my wedding ring?
I care about his wedding ring. I'd buy him a new one.
I hurt my feelings. I can't buy it. Love.
I can buy your... Yes, I can.
So that has been our trip up to our final destination here in Lisbon. I mean, we've basically, the most we've been apart for the past 72 days has been...
Mike took the trash out earlier.
Yeah, I took the trash out. So about 2 or 3 minutes apart is the max.
It's been fun.
We made it. Came out on the other side, so
he
that's
still
it.
has his wedding ring.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that it?
I think so.
It's nice to catch up. We'll see you guys at home in 3 days?
4 days.
4 days. Oh yeah, because we have a layover.
We have 24 hours of travel coming up, so we'll be home Friday night.
But all is well. Bye.
Bye.